Thank you very much, Mr. Jack Chang, for your experiences and your perspective on this whole topic of today. And I'm looking forward to see you again tomorrow in our office. So it's my great honor today to not only introduce, as we have done earlier, the ambassador of Slovenia to China, but coming up next we also have His Excellency Jarno Syrjala. I hope I pronounced that someone correctly. Who's the ambassador of Finland to China. So please welcome.
Yeah, but you can move one further, immediately one step further. Okay, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, on site and online. So it's a great pleasure to be with you, and I'm going to share some ideas and information first about Finland, the country which I represent, then something about also company cases, a couple examples. I'm not going to do any strong advertisement for any of our companies, some just a couple of small examples, and then still a little about the cooperation here in China, how we operate with Finnish companies and Chinese officials. I think the presentation we just heard is very relevant for us as well. And I would also like to emphasize the role of the small and medium-sized enterprises in this regard, because Finland, we definitely are one of the countries of SMEs. So we have altogether some 300,000 companies, and only 0.4% of those employ more than 250 people. So I mean, most of our companies are small, also working in this sector, what we are going to discuss now. First, something about our track record, why we have some pride in this sector, and what we can say, what we have done. So in Finland, so we were actually the first country to establish a circular economy roadmap, and in our case, it is closely related to bioeconomy as well. So you will hear many examples related to forest especially. And let's move on. So with using this bio-based products, so companies can reduce the volume of substances and materials that have adverse impact on the environment, and including fossil fuel, coal, plastic in carbon and a carbon neutral way. So basically what we are saying that what is made out of oil today can be made of wood tomorrow, and that is happening quite a bit already. And this is how we operate our forest-based industries today. So nothing is left to waste, basically. So everything is used, every inch of wood when it's felled. And in China, where we have also quite a number of Finnish companies operating in this area, this is not yet the case. In Finland, we are not talking anymore about actually paper mills or something like that. They are biorefineries. So they produce everything. So from pulp, paper, energy. So all the side products are used. So in that sense, so they are much more than just producers of paper or pulp, as traditionally was the case. Next one. And one important change what we are going to see is basically what is the first one here when we mention that wood cellulose-based fibers are replacing traditional textile materials. And for example, cotton is not a very environmentally friendly material, as we all know. So to grow cotton consumes quite a bit of water. It takes space, but many things. Here we estimate that 1/3 of global cotton production could be replaced by fibers coming from wood. And these, of course, textiles and carbon that can be reused many times. So we expect that wood fiber can be recycled easily 5 to 7 times, for example. Let's move on. I am rushing through these things a little bit now because of time constraints. That what we saw about the fibers and textiles, so cooperation with Chinese companies is happening. That's still many of the ideas are still, we are working on research and development side, but also we are already using textiles and planning products based on those together with our Chinese friends. But here is another example which shows how you can use that. So in Finland, we have reached the stage where only 1% of the total waste ends up in landfills. So we use quite efficiently that. And one example, what I would like to raise here for 2 reasons, actually. First, it's related to China, and then it's also related to the fact how companies can transform themselves. So I'm talking about Neste, the first example here. So Neste is a very traditional Finnish company. It's actually our national oil company, which is still partly owned by the government. But it used to be traditional oil company, so everything was coming from fossils. But during a couple of decades, they have transformed them significantly. They are today the world's biggest producer of renewable diesel, as said here, manufactured 100% from waste and residue. And that enables up to 90% lower greenhouse gas emissions. So impact is very significant. And what brings this thing relevant to China is, of course, that Neste is now also working here, or mainly in the Shanghai area. So they have now established a kind of collection system, because you know Chinese people use quite a lot of cooking oil, and so they have now established the collection system to collect that used cooking oil, and that will be actually transformed to for fuel, aviation fuel. So it's used for planes. Unfortunately, the refinery is not here in China, so it has to be brought somewhere else. But we hope that we will reach that point at some time also. But I think, so as I said, so it's a very relevant example how traditional companies are transforming themselves to become more environmentally friendly. Okay. Then I wanted to say something about how we work here in China and cooperate with our partners. And this is our business model, which brings together both governmental actors and companies. So we have in China we have 3 diplomatic missions, and then we have on the right-hand side you can see what is called Business Finland. That's like our export promotion arm. It's also the commercial department of the embassy. So they have different activities there. And then our third valuable, the most crucial element is actually the companies which are represented in our system through business councils or chamber in Hong Kong. And where these 3 circles basically meet is what we call Team Finland. And that's our business model. So that we together, come up with ideas how to do things here in China, what are our focus areas, and then it's usually materializes in an annual plan. And then inside this, or under this Team Finland umbrella, we do normal export promotion things. We like delegation visits, so I will, after a couple hours, I will leave for chilling with 20 companies. It's part of this kind of work, what we do. we share information with them. There are also, for Finnish companies, there are some finance available through this mechanism. And it's our concept, what we do basically in every country where we have diplomatic missions. And we get, of course, plenty of support from our headquarters. But this is a voluntary system, so that the companies who are participating, so they are doing that based on the voluntarity. They don't have to be, or we are not giving any. They can also, other companies, of course, we will cooperate with them, but most of the companies have found our business model very useful. Next one. And this is what we have identified as our 6 priority areas. They are from this year, but they will remain the same. There will be some fine tuning. And as you can see, this circular economy, bioeconomy will be a #1 topic. It's under the heading of sustainable cities, but then there are some subtitles like circular economy and bioeconomy coming that. So it means that it's very high on our agenda, and we will be doing that and also next year, coming year. And in every title, basically, we have a team working on these topics. That team consists of representatives of those 3 circles that I just told you. I mean, there is somebody from the embassy or diplomatic mission, there's somebody from Business Finland, and then there are company representatives, usually through councils. But it's they then define how we do and what kind of action we take. Next one. And we are, after 2 days, actually, we are going to release, this is what our team has done, so that they have conducted a study here. They have used some consultants, and these results will be available in 2 days' time. If I'm not mistaken, I think it's on Thursday, really. And this is how we want to increase our understanding, awareness, what's happening in China. So just, I mean, some basic definitions. So I mean, we don't have all the concepts ready yet. We need a better understanding of the landscape still here. But where we see especially what Finnish companies are looking for, and where we want to support them, are these couple of topics there, like municipal solid waste, incineration, alternatives to plastics, and then again this textile fiber technologies. That there are many projects ongoing already with the Chinese partners on that. Water management is always an issue for us, but then really we have to get some understanding on the regulations and stakeholders. Thank you. And again, we have quite a number of partners here who we work with, and this list is not it's not a complete one, but for example, where we have had for decades this joint committee on scientific and technological cooperation, and that is something under this heading, or this platform is used, for example, to have joint R&D project with usually private sector representatives from both sides. So they have usually once a year there is a joint call, and we give financing to the most promising projects. Joint Tech Committee on Economic Affairs that discusses a little bit the same things. They don't have any financial instruments. Then especially something what is related to energy. So we have a very close cooperation with the National Energy Administration of China. And again, there are also a pilot project ongoing. Currently, we have 5. They somehow relate to energy, of course, based on our counterpart there. But it's always, there is, of course, the sustainability is one of the criteria how we choose what are the most promising areas of cooperation. Then we have just 2017 when President Xi visited Finland. So we established this new China-Finland Committee for Innovative Business Cooperation. So that is purely between companies. So we, as officials, we are only providing some support. We are backbenchers there, basically. This committee currently has 4 subgroups: forestry, energy, maritime, and clean air. And again, from those titles, you can see that it's pretty much linked to the topics what we have been discussing today. But that is really it's a platform for companies really that they basically themselves make up the rules how to cooperate, and if it seems that there will be 1 or 2 subgroups will be coming to existence during the next round next year, and let's see. But it's been very good way, and really it's pretty based on, of course, business principles. So the companies are doing it for themselves, and then of course there are a huge number of MOUs, memorandum of understandings between different actors, and there are some ministries. With the MEE, we still don't have one. We have been discussing that for a while, so probably that will happen at some point as well. Muhurt we have already, so there are ministries involved, but it also brings us to the provincial level. So as I mentioned, I'm just about to leave for Chile, and with them we have, for example, a MOU which includes also the energy sector. But I think that was all I have to say. So unfortunately, I really have to leave, so I cannot take any questions. But if you have any need for information, or you want to post some questions to me later, so please contact me at the embassy. I'm at your service. Thank you.
Thank you so much for sharing this quite interesting and quite different perspective, which was more of a case study from a single country perspective. We will, as some of you may have noticed, we have